Hello and welcome to week 10 of Apex 1000 1010. Our announcements for today are to make sure that you have registered for your winter 2021 courses. Registration is open and you should have worked with your advisor already to register for those courses. And please know that the finish line is near. So I know that this has been a difficult time for most students and also staff as well, but know that we're almost finished with everything. So please finish strong, get the rest of your assignments in on time, finish those papers, study for your exams, and it will all pay off in the end. Today, our lesson, we will be talking about career preparation. Characteristics of today's economy. Globalization, so there are fewer jobs and requiring more skills, which means employers expect more from you. Education, there are a ton of people getting bachelor's degrees, so you may want to look into possibly, it really depends on what degree you get, but you might want to look into possibly further your education past a bachelor's degree and getting a graduate degree, to kind of make you a little bit more competitive as more and more employers are looking to see higher degrees. For technology, just remember that high-speed tech also means possibly high-pressure jobs, as technology is one of the things that is constantly evolving. So you may be expected to do a little more in that realm as well. Some employers expect you to work at home, so that is more fitting for us today, as a lot of people are working from home and they're expecting you to be accessible and respond to your emails. So I know I've heard a couple of students say, I get so many emails a day, it's hard to keep up. Sorry to tell you, but that kind of doesn't end after college. You still get a lot of emails in your job, and you have to respond to those. So it's kind of not really an excuse to say, I got so many emails, I'm sorry, boss, that I couldn't get back to you. It's your responsibility to stay on top of your emails and be organized working from home or in an office to get everything done and responded to. And you need to work harder to balance home and life. So also that is kind of hard too nowadays, that now a lot of people are working from home, but it's good to have, if you can do it. I feel like if you can balance that home and life, have that work-life balance while we're working from home, then you can definitely do it when we're in the office. But that is something that you will need to work on, in separating your work from your home. Factors that affect career choice. Make sure it's very important that you know what your values are and know what you value investing your time and energy into. Because more than likely, if you don't value what you're doing in your job, then you probably won't like it that much. Also, be aware of your interests. Know what subjects you are interested in and the positions that interest you as well. So if you're interested in your job, you're more than likely to work a little bit harder because you're doing something you love. Note the skills that you have to offer and what skills you need to develop in order to get a dream job. So you can always look up, say, an education position and say, I really want to be a teacher. But if you have a fear of maybe speaking in front of people, then you want to maybe develop that skill and work on public speaking if that is something that you don't already have. Personality, does this job fit well with my personality? So I hope all of you turned in your Myers-Briggs personality type, and with that website, it also gives you some good positions, and you can always Google it too, the positions that fit well with your personality type. So for example, if you are an introvert, possibly, not saying that you can't be successful in a position, because you can do whatever you put your mind to, but for example, if you are an introvert and you kind of like time to yourself, having a position of possibly a car salesperson and talking to people constantly may drain you over the day, which kind of may drain you drain you throughout the day, which you may not enjoy that job as someone who is an extrovert and likes to talk to people and gets their energy from being around people all day. So that a position like that for an introvert may not be the best position. Also, know your strengths and weaknesses. Will this job take advantage of your strengths, and how will it help you develop your weaknesses? For your personal life goals, is it aligned with those personal life goals? What is your dream job? So I have a lot of friends who I went to college with, and some of them have, while we were in college, were getting either retail jobs or working fast food, and they sometimes got hooked up with getting a paycheck, and they were kind of not going to classes because they had to pick up a shift because they wanted more money. And you really have to look at, if working at Walmart, is that going to align with your goal of being an engineer if you're working the cashier? So where do you want to put your focus on, and making sure that what you're doing is aligning with your life goals? So possibly looking at internships that can help you get your dream job will be something more worthwhile, in my opinion, to invest your time in than working in a position that may not further your dreams. Satisfaction at work. What is the job where you'll be working? Will it make you happy? Will you be doing what makes you happy? And is it connecting to your major or your career? Important skills in today's economy. Most employers want their employees to have good communication skills. So that even goes first from the first stop, which is your interview. You need to be able to sell yourself, communicate, answer their questions in a way that kind of impresses them, but also get your point across. You also need to communicate through writing, such as emails or just writing papers, facilitate discussions, presenting, and just feel comfortable asking questions. Interpersonal, so having that leadership skills. And I've heard a lot of students say that they don't like working in groups, they don't like working in teamwork, they just want to work on things individually, but that doesn't help you develop the skills when you're working in groups at work. Because for those who do not like to work in groups and teams, I'm going to tell you right now that in most jobs, you will have a group or team that you need to work with. So developing those skills, such as conflict management or conflict resolution, are skills that you develop now. So when you get into your dream job, you can navigate that effortlessly. Also, they're looking for their employees to be responsible, respectful, and honest. For critical thinking skills and props, so they're looking for people that can problem solve, be creative, listen. I think that's a great one, is listening, and taking what they learn in, learning from others, and also organization. Career specific, so many careers are looking for specific skills. So I always love looking on onet.org. If you're, onetonline.org. Sorry about that. So go there and look up the skills that you need for your future career. It has it all listed there. So it's very good, so you can look it up to see what skills you already have and what you need to develop in order to get that dream career. And one thing I just want to touch on that I think some students don't realize, all these qualities that our employers are looking for are skills that you learn through general education courses. For example, for students who are looking to be a doctor and they want to go to pre-med, I've had students say, why can't I just start with being a doctor? Why can't I just start with my biology classes and anatomy and just jump right into it? Why do I have to pay all this money for general education courses? But guess what? If you just jump right into it, then maybe you don't know how to communicate with people. Communicating with your patients will be very important. If you want your patients to be honest and open with you, if you want your patient to come back to your office so you continue to make money, then you need to know how to communicate with your patients. And all the other skills throughout here are all skills that I hope each and every doctor has, or at least my doctor has. So these are important skills that not only do you want to know just how to do the job, but also how to navigate everything else that comes with life and those soft skills. Connecting your major to a career. Many classes accept a variety of majors, but desires certain basic classes. So you might have some prerequisites, co-requisites that go into your classes that help you build those skills before you get into your major classes. We also have some majors where you have their second admit programs. So you may be a pre-nursing major, but you're not actually a nursing major until you take some required classes and then apply to the nursing program. Interesting classes, co-curricular classes, and work experience can help you find the job that the best fitting career. So if you are somebody who is undecided, that can help you if you take some classes that are interesting to you or some classes that can build on your skills. You may be able to help find what you're interested in, and also just student organizations. So getting involved in those activities can really help you connect with what career you want to do as well. General education courses make you more well-rounded, and WSU is a 4-year institution and not a trade school. And I think that's something that a lot of students need to realize, that we do have those general education courses because we want you to be a well-rounded student in trade schools, and that trade schools are more so set up to have you work on that specific trade. So we have building well-rounded students, but also preparing you for a career as well. Working well in college. So these are some advantages and disadvantages. I know now is a time where a lot of students have picked up jobs just because it is a little bit easier to, well, I'll put air quotes, you can't see my air quotes, easier to navigate if you have some online classes. So obviously some advantages of having a job while in college is money. You can use those transferable skills and experience. So not only can you learn some of those skills through college, such as communication and customer service in college, you can also learn them in a job. Time management, organization, because when you're working in college, you have to have those great time management organization skills in order to keep up with your work schedule, but also your classes. Develop a professionalism. You can also gain networking experience and also references. So if you're looking to get another job, you did an excellent job at where you're currently working, then more than likely your supervisor will give you a positive reference and recommendation. Disadvantages is it takes up more time. So you may not have all the time that you would like to have to complete assignments or study in college. Also, it takes up more energy and can cause more stress. And you may not have as much time for extracurricular activities and student organizations, which can possibly push you into finding that career or that major, or just opening up other opportunities for you. Resumes are super important, and I would suggest that if you do not have a resume made already, that you do that as soon as possible. There are a lot of positions now that are looking for resumes, and some positions look for cover letters as well, but most of them are looking for resumes. So if you have started a resume, never finished it, or just don't have one at all, please let me know, as I'm more than happy to help you with developing a resume or just kind of building a resume if you don't have one already. So your resumes is a brief account of a person's education, qualifications, awards, and previous experience. So that is something that you always want to list. Since you are all in college, you want to list that you are in college and you are working on receiving a bachelor's degree. Also list you always want to also list your previous experience as well. So I think those are the top two that each student should list, and if you have any awards or other qualifications, list that as well too. You typically send your resume with your job application, and it is your first impression. So the employer knows nothing about you until that resume comes across their desk and they're looking at it. So they don't know what you look like or how old you are, any of that. They're looking at their resume, so that is your first impression. You want to include those transferable skills that you learned in all your wonderful general education courses on your resume as well. So if you feel that your Com 1010 class prepared you for public speaking and now you are an awesome public speaker, Put that on your resume so employers know that that is a quality and a skill that you have. Elements of a resume. So required information is contact information. So if you do not have your contact information on your resume, how will an employer contact you? So just make sure that you have either a phone number and your email address in case they have options to either call you or email you. It is very important because I have called in previous jobs, people to come in and interview, and their voicemail box is full or it's not set up. So if you put that phone number down and you're applying for jobs, make sure people are able to leave you a message. And also, if you have your email down, make sure that you check your email because you don't want to get passed over for an opportunity because you checked your email too late or the employer was not able to leave a voicemail. Also include your education, major, minor, if you graduated with honors. So for example, if you graduated college summa cum laude or cum laude, whatever it may be, make sure that you put that down there. And a lot of people say, I think at this point it might be up to you. I kind of err on taking your high school off of there, but if you feel that you want to keep your high school on your resume, you can. But I think when you put your college, that you're in college, that kind of implies that you graduated from high school. So you can take that high school out there and then just put Wayne State University on there. Add any relevant experience, may it be leadership experience or extracurricular or a job. And then also always list your activities as well. Things that are optional include honors and awards, community service, study abroad, professional memberships, publications and presentations, and license or certificates. Preparing for your job interview, you always want to make sure you do your research. Do your research on every single job that you apply for. And even I always try to add a little bit of research that I have done into my job interviews. If they don't ask you a question about what do you know about this company, you can always find some way to tie it in, and it kind of may impress your employers that you actually took time to research them. So know the organization, be familiar with any new projects, who are the key players or people, and then have potential interview questions at the end. And also practice some potential interview questions. But you also want to have questions at the end as well. Be prepared, so dress professionally and arrive early. So I can't tell you the amount of times that I have interviewed people, and it should never depend on what you're interviewing for. You always want to dress professionally. So even if you feel that you may be overdressed, you're never overdressed for an interview. Dress professionally and arrive early. If you don't know, say if you're going in person for the interview and you are unaware of where the place is, the building is, always do a drive-by before so you can navigate that, see if there's any road closures, any traffic that might come up through construction. So drive by so you can arrive early. Bring a pen and a portfolio to all of your job interviews so you can take notes if you need to. Bring copies of your resume, cover letter, and references. So if they didn't ask necessarily for a cover letter, then I guess you don't have to bring one if you don't have one, but always bring your resume and references. So if the interviewers don't have a copy of your resume, you can provide that for them. And also if they ask for a list of references because you just aced that interview, you already have that ready to give to them as well. Review. The third one is review. Know your resume, know what you put on your resume, what the job description is, and where you're going. So that's what I said before, make sure you know where you're going as well. That is all I have for you. I hope you were able to gain some resume and interview tips. As I stated before, if you have any questions or need assistance with your resume, please let me know, as I'm more than happy to look over that for you. And if you don't, then I will talk to you all next week.